Hello and welcome to Rathod Science Academy. Today in this session, we are going to see current affairs of today's Hindi newspaper, guys. And we are going to see extreme important articles which are very important from your prelims and as well as mains point of view. Okay, now let us see the first article. See the title, guys. Web portal apps to make census data available early, says RGI. Now tell me, what are the keywords that you have to see from this title? RGI, next one is census, next web portal apps. Okay, what is this article talking about? Say one thing. It is talking about one thing is census. What is the census? It is about enumeration of population. What it gives? It gives about population data of our country. Okay. So for how many years will collect the data of people? Once in every 10 years. Once in every 10 years, we will be collecting data of population. Okay. So last census data when we collected? In year 2011. That means in 2021, we used to get data. But why it was delayed? Because of COVID-19 pandemic. And now we are in 2025. Till now, we didn't started this collection of data process. And this article is saying that by 2027, we are going to get this data of census. And now this year census data, why it is very special? Because of three important reasons. What are they? Yes, this year we are going to have, or this time we are going to have caste census, next delimitation, and very important reason why this census is very important. One-third reservation for women. For what? Legislative Assembly and as well as Lok Sabha. That is called as Nari Shakti bill which had been passed. We are going to implement from this new data, right? So because of these three reasons, this data is very, very special. And one more important reason that we can add, the specialty of this year's census is, this time we are going to use digital gadgets. What are those digital gadgets we are going to use? Digital apps. It's nothing but mobile apps and as well as web portals. So these are the four important things that you have to remember which makes our census very special now. So now we are going to talk about this digital era now. Now this article is saying that we are going to use web portals app to make the census data available early. Okay, so now you can say that yes, we started this data collection part. So normally it will take 2 to 3 years for analyzing of data and later on we will be getting report, right? So now this year we are going to use digitalization or we are going to use apps and as well as portals. Okay, then what happens? We are going to decrease delay or we are going to decrease time which will take so that we can get data very fast. That means, can you say that by using this digitalization or digital things, do we have any advantage in this getting of data or not? So where you can use this article exactly in your mains answer? Can you use this article as a value addition? Exactly where can you use this article? Not exactly measures. Whenever you are writing any answer regarding digital India, can you use this? I think 1 week ago, there was one article regarding Digital India, 10 years of Digital India in Indian Express. There I wrote some points regarding 10 years of Digital India in Indian Express article, and I asked you people to make note down of that 10 points. Did anyone do that? So in that points, I gave the list like what are the things that had been done so far in India. So in that you can also use this point like because of using of apps and because of using of web portals, we can make our process very simple. Okay, so in that you can use this. Okay, so here exactly in your mains where you can use this article is applications of digitalizations or in advantages of digitalization, you can use this article. So whenever we are using this digital thing or whenever we are going for digitalization, we are having advantages like decreasing of time or decreasing of gaps, and even we can decrease even increasing of accountability, increasing of transparency, and even decreasing of corruption. Everything we can do by using of this digitalization. Okay. Yes, that is the thing. And if you see this article, from where we can use this, in which subject we can see this, guys? In governance we can use this, and in GS paper 2 we can use this from polity point of view, and even from SNT, that is from GS paper 3 also, we can see this article, guys. So this article is saying that RGI, who is this RGI? Registrar General of India and even Census Commissioner of India, they announced that 2027 census will be India's first fully digital census, and we are aiming to make data available as much earlier than previous year exercises. So actually earlier, that is in 2011 census, or if you go back to 2001 census, whenever we start exercise of collecting data, it will be taking like 2 to 3 years. After starting of exercise of collecting of data, it will take 2 to 3 years to release this data, because at that time we don't have proper technology for finalizing of data. Okay, now we are directly using technology, we are directly using apps, so that the duplication of data will be decreased. Okay, and directly we will be getting finalized, refined data. Okay, that is the thing which mainly said. Yes, and 2027 census will be India's first fully digital census, and because of that we can get final refined data as early as possible, and we are using a dedicated web portal which will allow residents to self enumerate for the first time. And here we are going for two-phase census now. Okay, first one is in April 2026, and later on in February 2027 we are going to have two-phase census, and we are using mobile apps for data collection. Okay, and next one here is this mobile apps are supporting different multiple languages, because in our country in different states we have multiple languages and we have diverse languages in our country, so that what are the mobile apps we are using, so they will support different languages. And this one here is we are focusing on inclusive participation and as well as accurate information dissemination through this mobile apps. Okay, that is the thing. And actually based on this census data, we are going for redrawing of Lok Sabha constituencies. That is nothing but delimitation. So the point that we wrote here, it is nothing but delimitation on which we are going to redraw our boundaries. That is a one more speciality of this census data. Yeah, see this next article, very important. Conflict in Myanmar drives 4,000 into Mizoram. So did we discuss any article regarding insurgency into Northeast in our recent past? Any idea? Yes, illegal migration. So India is sharing boundary with how many countries? Which are those countries? Here we have Pak, here we have China, Nepal, Bhutan, Myanmar, Bangladesh. Okay, here we have Afghanistan and map. But or practically we are not sharing, because this area which comes under POK. Okay. So if there is any instability which is happening in these boundary country, what happen? To save their life, people will cross the border. That is called as illegal migration. Illegal migration is nothing but whenever people are crossing the border without proper legal documents. That is called as illegal migration. So here from Bangladesh, people will migrate because what happened in the recent past in Bangladesh? Political instability. So even the prime minister of this Bangladesh, that is Sheikh Hasina, she didn't have any security. She ousted. She came outside of Bangladesh. What about the people? Right? And even Myanmar, there is even sometimes there is no proper political stability. And what about Pakistan? What about Afghanistan? And here in Nepal, always we have marriage alliances between Nepal and as well as Indians who are present at this border areas. And actually across this India and Myanmar we have free movement regime. And recently we banned this free movement regime. But what happened for basic services like education, health, and market and economy, people will be moving here and there. And what happened recently? Rohingyas. Do you know about this Rohingyas? So who are these Rohingyas? Which community they belongs to? They are Muslim community. So there was issue between this Muslims and as well as army people from Myanmar, and they came into India and as well as Bangladesh region, right? So here what is happening in this Myanmar is, again, there are some issues between two communities. And what happened? And they are entering into now India. So is that called as illegal migration or not? Okay. So again, now there is one more issue that we are facing is illegal migration. So not only from this Myanmar you are facing that issue now. So even from Bangladesh we are happening with this, and even from this Sri Lanka also we have issue called as Sri Lankan Tamilians, we have this issue of illegal migration, and even from Pakistan during this partition time, so Hindu Muslim movement which happened during that time. Okay. And here Hamas, and we have lots of Buddhist movement. So India was home for this illegal migrations or illegal refugees. So like that. So lots of people, they are coming and they are staying in India. Actually, India didn't sign any international convention for refugees. So now you guys tell me, so if illegal migration is happening, is that good for our country? So if illegal migration is happening, is that good for our country? It is not good for our country. So what happens if illegal migration happens? What is the impact? What is the impact? What happens? Will you accept if other people will come and sit in your class? What will you do? What will you do? If some outsiders are coming and sitting in your class, what will you do? Will you accept them? Then what will you do? So what happens if other country people are coming and entering into your area? If they're occupying your space, will you be silent? That will lead to communal tensions, yes or no? Next. Communal tensions will arise. That will lead to law and order breakdown, yes or no? So whenever there is law and order breakdown, that will lead to peace or not? No peace. Next. No peace. And will there is any security? No security. Yes. There will be some kind of religious violence. Next. Insurgency can happen. Next. Okay, that will lead to violence. Violation of rights, very good. Violation of human rights. So all this will happen, right? Okay, now you guys tell me what are the measures can we take to control this illegal migration? Yes, verification. Okay. Yes, border security. We have to strengthen our border security next. Yes, increased regulation. Can we come up with agreements with that country? Yes or no? So whichever the country we are sharing border with, if we know from which country we are having this kind of problem, for example, from Bangladesh we are having problem, from Myanmar we are having with that kind of problem. So we can have that kind of talks and we can have that kind of agreements of moving them back safely. Okay. Next, agreements with the countries. Next, many a times border killings will also happen, especially across India and Bangladesh border because of crossing of border, right? So that will lead to human rights violation. Why to do that? So rather than we can go with peaceful agreement between the countries. Next, we can go for rehabilitation centers. Next, rehabilitation centers or detention centers. Hmm? Re? That what? That comes under this only agreement, so that we can send them back. Yes, pushback process. Very good. Pushback process. Come on, think. So if you think, then only you'll get ideas, or else you won't. So these are the points that you have to write in your answer. Come on. I am asking any irrelevant thing here. No, right? What are the question that you are writing? I am only asking that thing, right? Next. Okay. So actually, do you know across the borders we have certain agencies which will be giving this illegal documents. So we have to first identify these scams and we have to catch them and we have to punish them who are giving this illegal documents. Okay, so that we can control this kind of human trafficking. So especially across this border, human trafficking is also one of the important problem. And human trafficking is illegal, right? Okay, so it will be violating our fundamental right. Which fundamental right talks about human trafficking? Any idea? Article 23 and 24, that is about right against exploitation. So that is also affecting our fundamental right. So here we have to avoid that also. So from which article it is important, guys? If there is any conflict in other country, it is also causing internal security issue in our country, right? So can we also see this topic from GS paper 3 under internal security? And next one is, are we sharing boundary with Myanmar directly? Can we talk about this topic from GS paper 2 under international relations? Yes. And next, it is also having impact on our society. It is also important from our GS paper to under social issues point of view. And it is having impact on our Mizoram. So Mizoram is part of our northeast or not? So you have to see about our geography of Mizoram. From GS paper 1 under geography, you have to see this. So this single article is important from 4 subjects of our GS. Okay, now let us see what exactly they said here. A violent conflict between two ethnic armed groups in Myanmar has forced approximately 4,000 Chin people to seek refuge in Mizoram, India. So these 4,000 people are belonging to Chin means Chin community people, they are taking refuge in Mizoram. So who are the people present in Mizoram? Mizo people. Normally in this northeastern people, tribal people are dominant. Okay, and these tribal people are very advanced compared to the top are south and as well as middle Indian people. Okay, okay, so if you say tribes, so tribal people are more concentrated in this central India and as well as southern part and northeastern part and Andaman and Nicobar. So if you see, these tribes are entirely different. They are underdeveloped because they don't have any contact with mainstream society. Okay, they are present in island area. Then who will be going here? Like only tourist people, they will be going this Andaman and Nicobar island, right? So they will be not having regular contact with mainstream society. And these people, they will be living in normally in forest. And here these tribal people, they will be having attachment with this Southeast Asian countries, right? So these countries are compared to this mainland India, they are advanced. So they are having contact with these countries. So these tribal people who are present in this area, they are far more advanced. And these societies, they are normally matriarchal society. Do you know about this matriarchy? What is meaning of this matriarchy? Women dominant societies. Normally this area is patriarchal. What is patriarchal? Male dominant society. So whenever system is developing, women dominant society will be there, not male dominant society. Okay, so male dominant society will be there where system is underdeveloped. So these tribal societies are like well developed, and their dressing style and their thinkingness or their education, their literacy is far more developed compared to that of this. Okay, and here if you see in this Mizoram, will they accept whenever the people they are coming new? They won't. So here what happens, whenever other people are coming into their society, will they accept them? No. That will leads to societal unrest. That will leads to communal disputes soon. So what happens whenever other community people, see the number, there are 4,000. 4,000 is not a small number because Mizoram, it's not very big state. It is a very small state, right? And actually this northeastern part is having fully Purvanchal. They are nothing but extension of Himalayas. And actually in this area, normally we have good enough rainfall and we have good enough landslides also. Okay. So here already whatever the conditions, whatever they have their own vulnerabilities and they have their own problems already. So if new community are coming means communal harmony will be disrupted. So there will be a lot of new problems that they are going to get soon. Okay, that's the thing they are said here. That's it. Okay, so this article is saying that armed conflict between Chin ethnic groups in Myanmar, which triggered a refuge influx into Mizoram. So refugees crossed this Tayu river and border bridged at this area, and they started taking shelter in Indian villages. Okay, and the displaced individuals, they are housed in homes, schools and community centers with community and as well as NGO support. So actually these people, whatever the community they are coming inside, so they are taking shelter in homes and as well as schools and as well as whatever the community centers they are there. So they are taking shelter in these areas and they are also getting good support from NGOs as well. And actually Mizoram officials and as well as political advisors, they are also going for mediating. Like if there is any violence which is happening, so we can't send them immediately back. So we have to go for mediation and we have to see the situation. So if you're sending directly back, what happens if there is already violence is happening? So if you're sending back means if in that violence, if these people are dying means what happens? That will lead to severe human rights violation, right? So we have to mediate and we have to resolve that issue. And if we see that, yes, the violation had been decreased, and if that level of aggressiveness is decreased, and we can send them back so that we can save the life of the people. So like that, we have to mediate between the people. That is the thing which is going on. Okay. Yeah. Next article, see here. With government push, Jammu and Kashmir witnessing a strong revival in tourism sector, says our union minister. So what is this article talking about? What is the keyword? Tourism sector. Where? Yes, in Jammu and Kashmir, this article is saying that there is revival of tourism sector. So why there is revival of tourism sector is happening? What happened in the recent past which affected tourism sector in Jammu and Kashmir? Yes. So because of this Pahalgam attack, what happened? Tourism sector had been strongly affected. Why? This the okay. So which terror group affected or attacked this tourist in Pahalgam? What is that group name? TRF, the Resistant Front. TRF. TRF is a subgroup of LET. LET is one group. So TRF is one subgroup of LET. Okay, they attacked this tourist who are in this Pahalgam, and especially they targeted male, that two Hindus, and they killed them. So because of this, what happened? So people who wants to go to this Jammu and Kashmir, they are afraid and they are not visiting these areas, especially Jammu and Kashmir. So because of this, tourism will be getting affected or not? Obviously, tourism will be getting affected. So now what happened? Again, revival of tourism is happening. Why? What is the reason? Because of which yatra? Not Jagannath. Jagannath is in Odisha, Puri. Yes, Amarnath Yatra. Yes, Amarnath Yatra is going on. So because of this, again, tourists are going into this Jammu and Kashmir. Now the revival of this tourism sector is happening in this Jammu and Kashmir. Okay, so that is about this article. Now you guys tell me, is tourism sector important or not? So this article is talking about tourism sector in India. So can anyone tell me important tourism sites in India? Important sites of tourism in India. Huh? Goa. Very good. Next. Hyderabad. Okay. Tell me which part is good in tourism in India? North or south? Okay, so south is best or north is best according to you, your knowledge? South is best. Why? Huh? Less insurgencies. Okay, which is safest, north or south? South is safest. But what about landslides in Kerala and Karnataka? Except that. Which place is safest? Terrorism. Andaman and Nicobar Centralese is there. Tribes. Then. ఎక్కడికి వెళ్ళొద్దా? Middle India. Okay, tell me some important place of tourism in north. Ladakh, Manali. Next, Kedarnath. What about landslides? Helicopter crash. Next, Chardham Yatra. Next. Now, which yatra is going on? Amarnath. Next. యాడికి పోలే మీరు? యాడికి? Kashmir. Next. Delhi, Agra. What about pollution? Next. Prayagraj. Next. Etc. Okay, northeast. Anyone went to northeast so far? No. Very beautiful places. Next, south. So many. Tell me some. Goa. Hampi, Karnataka. Karnataka. Very good. Next. Wayanad. Coorg. Okay. Vijayawada, Tirupati. Vizag. Beach. Pondicherry. Okay. Okay, so tell me about advantages of tourism sector in our country. What are the advantages? Do we have any advantages? Okay, economy. How economy will develops? You are saying that economy will improve. How? Okay, comes from various places. How economy will grow? Improve infrastructure. Next. Next. Okay, we can earn through ticket prices. Next. Uh, Accommodation, hotels, employment generation, especially, do you know guides? Guides, local employment creation. Next. Transportation, okay, infrastructure. Next. Yes, forex reserves. Do you know, especially in these tourist sites, there is separate there will be separate price for tourists who will from other countries. Foreigners, separate price, and for Indians, separate price. Do you know this separate ticket counters? If you go to this Taj Mahal, what is the price for foreigners? Any idea? Next. Photographs. That is local employment creation. Next. Have you seen at this tourist areas, normally the price of food items will be more, quantity less and price will be more, and even quality will be not nice, but price will be more. Uh, Next, if you say about currency, sorry, economy means like currency. We will get foreign currency also. Parking, okay, parking. So obviously we can generate some amount of income here, right? So we can earn some income. And next one here is from culture point of view. Can we protect our culture? Yes or no? Tourism is very, very important for protecting of our culture. So we are protecting our culture through this tourism industry only, whatever income you are generating. So if you go to any of our very old monuments, on another side they are going for recarving it. Whatever the thing which is going on, like ఏమంటారు ఇన్ తెలుగు విల్ కాల్ ఇట్ శిథిలావస్థలో ఉన్న వాటిని లైక్ వీఆర్ గోయింగ్ ఫర్ రీకార్వింగ్ ఇట్, రైట్? అండ్ నెక్స్ట్ why we want to promote our tourism? We want to give it to next generation, right? We want to teach it to next generation, preserving of our culture. And next one is soft power. So have you seen whenever other country people, delegates who come to India, they'll go and visit other places which are present in our country. Do you know this? Recently France related people, they came and they went and they took photographs near Taj Mahal, Konark Sun Temple, like that. They visited some other places. So through this also we are promoting our culture to other countries so that we can promote our soft power in other countries. Next, why we want to promote tourism? Tell me. Yes, exchange of culture, very good. Exchange of culture, soft power, preserving income. And next, and we are not only promoting our culture in our country, but even if you are having good relations with other country, we'll also build temples in other countries. Do you know this? Why we do that? For promoting what? For promoting of culture. Stress relief. మీ ఐడియాస్ మీకు ఉన్నాయి, ఇంకోసారి మిమ్మల్ని మాత్రం నేను అడగా. ఓకే, టెల్ మీ. సో వాట్ ఆర్ ద మెజర్స్ వీ హ్యావ్ టు టేక్? What are the measures we have to take to improve tourism? Okay, tell me. Do you know recently Miss India happened in which area? In Telangana, in which city? In Hyderabad itself, Miss India competition happened. So who won this Miss India title? Sorry, Miss World, kada? Miss World. Who won this title of Miss World? Miss Thailand, Sure, Miss Thailand. Okay, so now tell me how we can promote tourism or what measures we can take to promote tourism, because it is very, very important for a country like India to become developed country status to get this developed country status by 2047. And what are the steps we can take to promote tourism, because India is very rich in its heritage and as well as culture. Yeah, so what are the problems in our country, especially regarding this tourism? What problems we have? Tell me. So we have problems like terrorism. Next, actually, do you know, especially different country people are coming to India, but at this tourist site, we are not providing proper safety. So rape cases are happening a lot on this tourist who are coming to India. So that means we are not providing proper safety for this tourist. And next, what are the problems we are having? Yes, lack of proper infrastructure. Next, lack of awareness. Even Indians, they don't know like in which area, which kind of tourist places we do have, and which are the knowledgeable places that we have to visit. And especially schools also. Normally in some hi-fi schools, they do have this kind of visits to some tourist places every year, at least once or twice. But what about these government schools and some so-called schools? They don't have this kind of visits. Do you know this? In our schools, there was no any kind of schools visits, anything. We don't have anything. Do you have this? We don't have that. Okay. Yes, lack of communication. Next. Now you guys tell me what are the measures we can take to promote tourism. Because there are certain countries which they depend upon only tourism. Which are those countries which depend upon only tourism as their economy? We have Maldives, Thailand, next, Lakshadweep, Goa. Goa is there in India only. Countries I asked. So we have a huge potential to earn a lot from this tourism, but we are not earning that much from this tourism because we have lots of lacunae in our tourism industry. So we can take proper measures to boost our tourism sector actually, because we have lots of monuments which are belonging to ancient period era and as well as modern era and as well as medieval era, but we are not utilizing properly. So as future civil servants, so you have to take proper measures. At least what are the monuments which are there under your purview, you have to develop them properly so that you can boost tourism sector for sure. Okay, so that we can achieve a lot. At least you have to preserve them which are there in your area. Okay, so now let us see this article. So Union Tourism Minister highlighted that the significant revival of tourism in Jammu and Kashmir following a period of stagnation caused by tragic Pahalgam terror attack in April, which resulted in the death of 26 civilians. They are mostly tourists, especially Hindu male. They had been died in this issue. So tourism in Jammu and Kashmir is witnessing a robust revival after this April terror attack. Okay, and actually central government as well as Jammu and Kashmir government, they are trying a lot to boost tourism sector in this area, and they are going for regular engagements, and they are striving a lot for revitalizing of this tourism in this Jammu and Kashmir now. And finally, they are reaching tourism at a peak level now because of this Amarnath Yatra now. So what is this Amarnath Yatra? Amarnath is nothing but ice lingam which is formed in this season especially. Okay, it is nothing but Shiva Lingam which gets its full shape in the month of May. And finally it will start melting in the month of August. So in this period around 38 days, they will run this yatra called as Amarnath Yatra. It is nothing but the water will be flowing in this region, it will become ice and it will be looking the shape of lingam. That is called as Amarnath. So what is the significance of this yatra? It is nothing but Amarnath cave deep, it is located in this Himalayas in South Kashmir region, and this cave is around 3,888 meters above sea level, and it will be reached only by foot or by pony. It is nothing but horse riding, we can go there here, and every year around hundreds of thousands of pilgrims, they make their way through this trekking up to this shrine to visit this. Okay, that is about this Amarnath Yatra. And see this article, very, very important article of the day. See the title, Air Pollution Tied to Preterm Births, Low Birth Weight in India, says study. What is this article saying about? Air pollution, preterm births, low birth weight in India. What is this? What is air pollution? Pollution in air. What are the pollutants in air? What are the common pollutants that you can see in air? Carbon dioxide, particulate matter, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxides, greenhouse gases, carbon dioxide emissions, CFCs, chlorofluorocarbons. Next, etc. Very good. You could బాగా Okay. So what happens because of pollution in air? Is it good for health or bad for health? Bad. So who will be more vulnerable because of air pollution? Yes, children and elderly. Okay. So especially people with respiratory disorders like asthma and COPD, lung defects, they will be getting more affected because of air pollution. Not only elderly and children, especially pregnant women also are more vulnerable. So whenever pregnant women, they are exposed to air pressure, that will lead to preterm births. What is preterm? What is the term of a, okay. So normally what is the tenure of a pregnancy? 9 months, okay. So this 9 months will be divided into first trimester, second trimester and third trimester. Each trimester is including 3 months. First 3 months, next 4 to 6 months, next 7 to 9 months. If delivery happens before this 9 months is called as preterm birth or preterm delivery. So if a woman who is a pregnant, whenever exposed to high levels of air pollution, there is a risk of preterm birth. That is nothing but before completion of entire pregnancy cycle, she will be giving delivery before 9 months of that cycle. That is called as preterm delivery. So what happens whenever the preterm delivery happens? Will the baby is fully developed? No, baby will be delivered incompletely. So especially one organ will be not developed completely is lungs. So normally lungs will be developed in this third trimester. Very, very important. So have you ever observed whenever baby which is born before completion of the 9 months, they will be kept in incubator. Have you ever find it out? They will be kept in incubator with the support of oxygen, life support. Why? Because the only organ will be not developed, that is lungs. Okay. So if lungs is not developed means there will be like they cannot take properly oxygen. If there is no oxygen, they cannot survive, right? So they need external support. So because of that, they will be given life support, that is called as external oxygen support. Okay, so if what happens whenever the delivery happens before this 9 months, that is called as preterm delivery, and again in that preterm delivered baby, lungs will be not fully developed, they need external support. Okay, so that is the thing they said. And one more thing they said here is low birth weight. What is the meaning of low birth weight? Normally, can you tell me what is the average birth weight of a baby? For the full term baby, what is the normal weight? 2 or 3. Next. 5-6 kgs. 5-6 kgs baby పుడతారా? Normal it will be 2 to 2.5 kgs baby. 2 to 3 maximum will be 3. Not like 5 or 6. పౌష్టిక ఆహారాలు ఎక్కువ తింటే 6 kgs పుట్టరు. మదర్ పెరుగుద్ది వెయిట్, కానీ బేబీ పెరగదు. బికాస్ యుటరస్ పెరగాలి కదా, యుటరస్ హ్యావ్ ద ఎలాస్టిసిటీ పవర్, బట్ ఇట్ విల్ ఎక్స్పాండ్ ఓన్లీ సర్టన్ లిమిట్. నార్మల్ ఇట్ విల్ బి లైక్ ఏ బెలూన్లో ఎయిర్ ఫిల్ చేస్తాం, బట్ ఇట్ విల్ ఎక్స్పాండ్ ఓన్లీ ఫర్ సర్టన్ లిమిట్. అంతకు మించి ఎయిర్ ఫిల్ చేస్తే టప్పని పగిలిద్ది తప్ప ఇంత అంటే అంత ఎక్స్పాండ్ అవ్వదు కదా. I had twins. నా పర్సనాలిటీకి I had twins. On Sunday, I brought my twins to institute. And now weightకి I gave birth to 2 babies. One is girl and one is boy. My first baby is girl, that is 2.5 kgs, and boy is 2 kgs. Both are around 4.5 kgs, just body weight. అది కాకుండా we have placenta, both umbilical cord, and both will be having water. My belly is like this much. Everyone used to have like fear it will burst like that. And I carried till 9th month, and till the before day of my pregnancy I took classes like this only. Yeah, I did. And after my delivery I got C-section, and after 1 week only I started my classes. And from the day 7 onwards, and actually they were kept in incubation for 7 days. And on the 7th day, doctors hand over these babies to me, and from 7th day onwards I alone and my husband used to take care of them without anyone. And I used to take classes for 5 to 7 hours every day by taking care of them night and day. I did that with this personality only. Everyone thought that I don't have babies. Everyone, they used to talk like that. You are like thin, lean, you won't carry, you won't take care like that. But I have that strength. I showed them. Okay, so this article is saying that if you are having exposure to air pollution, you will be having preterm births and as well as low weight birth. So actually normally the weight of the baby will be 2 kgs to 3 kgs, normally healthy weight baby. So if you are having this air pollution, so what happens is whenever you are exposure to air pollution, that means if you are taking bad air into your body, then what happens? The oxygen you are taking will be less. Whenever you are taking less oxygen, what happens? Okay, I'll show the diagram. So these are your lungs, right? Okay, so this will be lungs. So whatever the air you are taking, your air will be having oxygen. Oxygen will be very important for the proper functioning of your each and every cell. If you're not having oxygen, what happens? Anaerobic respiration will happen. So if anaerobic respiration happens, what happens? Lactic acid will form. Okay. So have you ever observed, if you're doing exercise very tirelessly, if you touch your body, you will be getting lots of pain. Have you ever observed? That is because if you do something, if you run or if you go to gym, you will not take proper breath, and if you do the some work extensively, then what happen? Your cells will go with anaerobic respiration, and that will form lactic acid. If this lactic acid will be forming in your cells, you will be feeling very, very pain, and if you touch your body like this, you will be getting pain. It is because of formation of lactic acid. So what happens normally during pregnancy, your body will be working double, because normally when you are alone, your body will be doing your own functions. If you are carrying your baby's waste should be also removed by your body only. So your body should do double work. So your body will be working twice. That means your body will require twice oxygen that you need now. So if you are living in an area where amount of air pollution is more, if air pollution is more, means whatever the air you are taking, pollutants will be more and oxygen will be less. So if you're taking less amount of oxygen, what happens? Lactic acid will be formed in your body. So your cells will be not working properly. If your cells are not working properly, proper oxidization of food will not happen. So that your baby will be not getting proper nutrients and proteins that required. So because of this, ultimately the body weight will be not proper in your baby. So that during the time of the birth, the baby's weight will be less compared to that of normal body weight. So that is the reason why if you are staying in the area where the pollution is very high, because of less amount of oxygen that you are taking, no proper oxidization, because of formation of lactic acid in your body, you will be feeling lethargy and output, the weight of the baby will be less. Okay, that is the thing which mainly said in this article, nothing more than that. So whenever you are writing impacts of air pollution, you have to include this article that in pregnant women that will leads to preterm births and as well as low baby weight. Okay, that is the thing. And see this article. Your title says fostering a commitment to stop maternal deaths. What is this article talking about? Maternal deaths. What is this maternal? Maternal is nothing but pregnant woman deaths. Okay, so this article is talking about maternal mortality. MMR, maternal mortality rate. Maternal mortality is nothing but pregnant woman deaths either during delivery or after delivery. Okay, now you guys telling me what is the number of maternal mortality rate which is happening in our country. Recently we discussed, I think 2 months, 93. Yes, very good. So for every 1 lakh of deliveries are happening in our country, 93 women are dying in our country. So earlier it was 103 and now it has decreased to 93. But what is the sustainable development goal? Data. We have to reach 70 by 2030. But now, as of now, we reach 93 and we have to reach 70 to reach sustainable development goal by 2030. Okay, so actually India is developing country and we are doing somewhat good in health sector, right? But even though why this maternal mortality rate is high in our country, what are the reasons? Yes, now tell me what are the reasons why mothers are dying? One is malnutrition. And next, other reasons, please go on telling. Poverty. Next. Yes, lack of hospital deliveries. Even some rural areas, people they'll go for deliveries in home itself. Next. Proper transportation facilities are not there. Very good. Yes, lack of awareness. Next. Lack of hospital facilities. Next. Poverty, I wrote here. Next. Come on, think. Why women will die? Because of infections actually. So once delivery happens, so there will be the loss of blood. So because of loss of blood, because of removal of placenta, they will be getting infections for sure. So because of infections, so there will be no proper medications if they are going for delivery at home. So that is the one important reason why they go for this this deaths. And actually one important reason here is after once delivery had been done, mother will go into postpartum depression. Postpartum depression is nothing but actually once they'll go for delivery, baby will cry for once in 1.5 hour to 2 hours for sure. Once in 1.5 hour to 2 hours they'll go on crying. So mother should go on feeding for 2 hours for sure. At that time she will be not having any sleep, and even if no one is helping her, she will be getting hell only. So and after that the hormone levels will be like imbalance will be there. So there will be sudden rise of progesterone and sudden low of estrogen everything will be happening, so that she will be entering into this phase of depression. And if no one is there to understand her levels of hormones and depression, everything, and obviously there will be certain symptoms of suicidal things also will happen after this delivery. So because of that also sometimes it will leads to MMR in rural areas. That will happen. Have you ever seen, like, after delivery, mother killed son or daughter? She tied baby in some plastic bag and thrown here and there. Mother killed son or daughter. So because of this kind of depression and hormonal changes in mother, it happens. So she need a proper support at that time. If there is no proper support, it happens. It is reality, but no one will say that. Okay? Yeah. So now you guys tell me, what are the measures we have to take to decrease MMR? Awareness. Next. Yes. Next. First one is awareness. Next one is schemes to provide support, proper nutrition facilities. Yes, increasing of hospital facilities, improved transportation in rural areas. Next. Yes, we have to improve salaries for ASHA workers actually, because ASHA workers, they play a very important role in decreasing of MMR, and because of them, yes, we tried to decrease that to 93 actually. Because of them only we decreased that, but still this ASHA workers, they are not getting proper salary, and we discussed lots of time regarding them. So we have to improve that. And next one here is government needs to give like financial support for women during this delivery, and as well as before delivery, and as well as after delivery. Yeah, and next one is we have to improve role of Anganwadi services regarding this malnutrition and controlling of malnutrition. And next, what can we do? Doctors, and even empathy is very important. So if you go to government hospital, they don't show any empathy. So I have that personal experience regarding this empathy in government hospitals. So we have to train this government hospitals and as well as government nurses while you're treating this pregnant woman. Okay. Yeah. Next. Next, what can we do? Yes, husband role is very very important. You guys, you have to support your future wives in each and every stage. Yes, for sure. So even what happened to you? So even parents from girls side or parents from the boys side, whatever they show, it will be like temporary, guys. You are the person, you have to show the care in each and every stage of her, because you have to be there in each and every step, and whatever the love, whatever the support you are showing, that will be not matchable by whoever the person who will be take care of her. So always she or any person wants your help, not others. Okay, so always you should be there. Okay, and actually training for husbands is very very important. And nowadays, yeah, training for husbands. So do you know, actually in some hospitals, if you go to, have you heard this Fernandine hospital? Fernandine hospital. No. Nowadays, whenever normal delivery is happening, so they are allowing husband to stay beside woman, and even during the C-section also they're allowing husband, and they have to see what is the process they are facing, so that they will understand what are the struggles she faces, and they should not ask for another baby. Like that, they have to understand the struggle, like what struggle she is facing, how much hard it will be. Then only they will support after the delivery, or else they won't understand. They will say that, they will say like, you are the only girl, have you give the birth, no one in this world have gave the birth, like that they will talk like that. If you see that what is the process she is facing through, then only can understand how much struggle she did, that she faced that. So I will suggest that yes, a proper train should be there for men during this process, and that should be come up by the government itself in every government hospital, especially in this in this maternity hospitals, men should be allowed during this process of delivery, and men should have separate training sessions. That will be like give lot of boost for women empowerment. Yeah, that should be there for sure. Because private hospitals are doing that. Why this government hospital cannot? They also do this. Okay, now let us see what is given in this article. Okay, one public health consultant from Kerala, he highlights that there are lots of challenges that we are facing in this maternal mortality in India. So even though lots of progress that we made in the recent years, so maternal mortality ratio in India, now we have 93 per 1 lakh live births. Okay, and earlier we had 103 and we decreased it to 93, and the target we have to decrease it to 73 as per sustainable development goal. Okay, so actually we have in Kerala it is 20 only, and in Madhya Pradesh we have 175. So in our country also, in certain states we have less, in certain states we have more. So we have to come up with uniform level of this MMR. And actually this article is saying that because of this ASHA, that is nothing but accredited social health activist, and financial incentives, they have increased this institutional deliveries, and we have reduced some delays. But we have certain challenges like transportation, which is one of the major challenge. Because of this, we are not having proper emergency ambulance service numbers or have emergency services. Because of this, there is delay. And especially the biggest killer is postpartum hemorrhage. Afterwards delivery happens, we will be having lots of bleedings, and because of this, what happen, infections happens, and because of this lack of proper blood transfusion, that is leading to this lots of killings of mothers. That's the thing which mainly said. And actually government is doing a lot of improvement in this decreasing of maternal mortality rate. Government came up with these schemes like Pradhan Mantri Surakshit Matritva Abhiyan, where government is providing quality care for pregnant women on fixed day every month. Especially 9th of every month in government hospital, they will be giving services for this pregnant woman. And next one is Janani Suraksha Yojana. Government is providing hospital deliveries to ensure safe childbirth. And next one is under this Ayushman Bharat also, government came up with health and wellness centers where government is providing primary healthcare services. And next one is government also came up with this Poshan Abhiyan, where government is focusing on improving nutritional outcomes for this pregnant women and as well as children. So these are the schemes through which government is doing very well. And you have to think about what are the measures that we have to come up so that we can decrease furthermore maternal mortality rate in our country. Okay, so these are the some important articles that happened in today's Hindi newspaper, guys. By this I'm concluding. Thank you so much for watching, and please do like this class and share this class, and do subscribe to Rathore Science Academy. Don't forget.